Steve Bannon considers himself to be a very staunch ally of Donald Trump, but nevertheless, he seems to be giving Donald Trump some really horrific advice right now that, of course, would, if Trump follows it, end up with Donald Trump going to jail. As we all know, to start off this trial last week, Judge Juan Merchan told Donald Trump specifically and explicitly, if you do not show up for court, you are required to be here every single day, and if you do not show up, I will put you in jail. Clear as day. That is the punishment. If Trump doesn't show up to court, he gets held in contempt, put in jail, and the trial continues with him in absentia. Sorry. So Steve Bannon this week came out with a brilliant idea. Obviously, Donald Trump's got a pretty significant hearing at the Supreme Court on Thursday about his immunity. And Steve Bannon says, skip court in New York and just go to that hearing. Here's what Bannon said. Thursday is also on another topic, the immunity situation. One of the most important arguments in the history of the Supreme Court. Of course, President Trump won't be there. If I was President Trump, I'd go to the immunity thing and let him put me in a jail cell, and I'd go to Barron's graduation. I'd do both of them and say, come on, dude, stand up to him. Just do it. See how the chips fall. The chips fall with him in a jail cell. The judge has already said that. The judge says you can't go to the Supreme Court hearing, and if you do, I'm going to put you in jail. And Bannon's like, just do it, man. Like, what's the worst that could happen? Well, the worst that could happen is that he goes to jail. And I know you're not worried about that because you're going to end up going to jail too for your, thing. But like, we know where the chips will fall. But there's two reasons why Steve Bannon is doing this. First and foremost, he does want Donald Trump to show up at the Supreme Court because when those justices on that bench, including the three that he put there, see him in person, that's going to be a pretty big amount of intimidation. And without Trump there, they're not going to feel that intimidation. So Bannon wants him to go because of that. But the bigger reason why Bannon wants him to skip court and go to jail is because Bannon seems to be laboring under the delusion, much like Trump and Alina Habba as well, that if he gets put in jail, he'll automatically win the election because people will feel sorry for him and vote for him. That's not true. I mean, the polls literally show us the opposite. If Trump goes behind bars, you have a huge portion of the Republican Party that says, I won't vote for him. So if we get that image of Donald Trump sitting in a jail cell, millions of voters across this country are going to be like, you know what? I can't, that's a bridge too far. I'm not going to do it. So Bannon and Trump and Alina Habba, as I said, they're all thinking, oh, if that happens, I'll be the next Nelson Mandela. No, like polls are telling you, no, you will lose if you go into jail. That is a fact. Not to mention the fact that it's also likely going to mean that you lose your case because it's going to show to the jury that you're a guy that doesn't like to follow the rules, and you can pretty much guarantee a conviction on that point. And then, of course, you will go to jail for real. So it's a lose-lose-lose situation for Donald Trump, and Steve Bannon, ever the political strategist, is literally out there telling him, just do it, man, and see what happens. This is probably going to be the only time in my life where I say, you know what? I hope Trump listens to Steve Bannon because it will be hilarious to see where those chips fall. Well, folks, we have crossed that 1 million subscriber milestone, but rest assured, we are just getting started here at Ring of Fire. So if you're not already, please do subscribe to the channel and make sure to like, share, and comment on the videos.